Alright guys, today we're going to be going over what it means to be persistent and why that's so important, especially in a field like entrepreneurship. Before we start out the video, I want to just let you guys know that I'm personally not a big fan of just motivational, super I'm going to get fired up type of content. Although I just want to mention this video is not really that. However, it's just a little bit of a word of encouragement for those of you who are feeling just a little bit lost and feeling like you're in a little bit of a slump, akin to what would be a writer's block for the entrepreneurship niche. If you're feeling a little bit down, you're feeling like you're taking a few L's, you have to watch this video because I'm actually going to relate to why it's so important to stick to it and why it's so important now that I'm starting to see stuff manifest, what types of examples in my life that I've experienced and why I'm so passionate about this topic. So let's jump into it. All right, so if you look at people like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, all those greats, a lot of them didn't see success till a later part in their life, right? And this is a very widely known fact. A lot of them, built their wealth in the later part of their life. A lot of them were working as bartenders and stuff like that, or working super menial jobs. If you look at someone like Carnegie, right? Started off super poor, rags to riches, classic American story. Same example. So I know you guys who are millennials and Gen Z, you're very used to instant gratification, whether you know it or not, and whether that's prevalent through social media or through just online usage, just internet usage in general. A lot of us are conditioned, especially in this modern world, to expect gratification almost instantly, right? A lot of us don't really expect, maybe our definition of hard work and our definition of the grind and hustle and our definition of the process is maybe a month max, right? And then we start to expect these great results. We start expecting to make 6 figures in our first month, when we really just have unrealistic expectations of the time it takes to build a solid, profitable business. Now, I'm not saying you should try to drag it out as long as possible. I really believe there are ways to make money quicker, but I don't think there are ways to make money instantly, right? So first of all, you have to get rid of any sort of unrealistic expectation or unrealistic assumptions that you might have about business. And you might be saying wow, you have such low expectations, you're not really pushing the limits. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying you could build a profitable business in your first month or two, but you should not expect to take yourself from 0 to multiple 6 figures in that time frame. You have to learn to be patient, and you have to learn to take some L's first, knowing that it's not really a loss, it's more like a lesson for you, right? Especially if you're new in your entrepreneurship journey. I can't stress this enough. As an example for me, back in January, I went into learning about social media marketing with a very arrogant mindset. I always thought, minimal effort, I could walk into businesses, close these really high level deals simply because I am who I am. And a lot of you guys have that thought process too. Or a lot of you guys were like me as well, and you wanted, you felt like it was super easy. You felt what more could there to be done in a social media marketing agency? All I have to do is go out, make cold calls, set up meetings, which I'll probably get 50% close rates to set up meetings. Most of these businesses will be interested in me. Most of them will look at me as an authority figure. I don't really have to do any other work besides that. I could just do really light Facebook ads work for an hour a week. It's really not that case. And yes, like I said in previous videos, to get the foundational skills for an SMMA is not extremely hard, but the hardest part is the actual execution. Say for example, you're doing something like cold calls. It's not easy, right? The strategy behind cold calls is easy. You just have to stick to your script, and you have to be able to come across as an authority figure. But once you actually pick up that phone, fear comes across in your mind, right? The first time you make a cold call, your hands get sweaty, you kind of get nervous, your voice maybe goes up a little bit, a few pitches, right? Or everything just completely changes when you're actually executing. Same thing with going into a meeting. Same thing with actually running your first Facebook ads campaign. Same thing with onboarding your client. Same thing with knowing your worth, right? For a while I had trouble with actually charging a high fee simply because I didn't have the self-confidence instilled in myself yet, right? Simply because I started having these doubts, after a month or two of not seeing any sort of client results. After a month or two of not securing any clients at all, I started to doubt myself. I started to doubt the business model. I started to doubt, whether or not I can actually provide good results to these clients, whether or not I can actually hit up these clients, whether or not I was with my personality, whether I was fit to actually talk to these business owners in an authoritative manner, being only 17 years old, could I actually get these business owners to believe in me, or was it all actually a pipe dream? A lot of you guys have these fears right now. Whatever industry you're in, whatever niche you're in, you're gonna have those fears. Don't expect this to be an overnight success. Don't even expect it to be in the first month sort of success, right? If it's taking you a little while to get off the ground, that's fine. As long as you have to start believing that like it's gonna pay off eventually. You have to trust the process. That's the bottom line. And at the end of the day, like, speak to other people about how long it took them. But then again, don't let that be the be all end all for how you base your results, right? As long as you're progressing every single day according to your own standards, according to your own unique life situation. For example, a lot of you guys are going to be like full-time students like myself. You can't expect to get like nearly the same results as someone who has like extremely like just the entire day is devoted to like building their agency, right? Everyone's a little bit different. As long as you know that you're pushing yourself and you're not being content, then you're all good, right? You're gonna succeed at whatever craft you're doing at some point down the line. The worst thing you could do is just give up, right? And this is look. I was thinking about giving up. I was thinking about giving up on social media marketing back in just last month in March, right? I took a lot of L's in February. I took a lot of L's in January. I took a lot of L's in March even. I didn't even secure a client till end of March, right? I like a solid retainer, like 2K retainer client. I did free trials for like the longest time. I was eating crap. Like I felt like I was doing nothing. I felt like I was putting so much time in. I was putting so many hours lead sourcing. I was so disappointed. My mood started coming down, which meant like my cold call, like the attitude that I came across in cold call started going down. The attitude that I came across in like closing clients started going down. Everything, and I realized that, this was a downward spiral. I'm going to give it one more shot, I'm going to give it one more shot. I'm going to give it all I got. I'm going to hit this as hard as possible. I'm going to do 50 to 100 cold calls a day. I'm going to do at least 100 outreaches a day. I'm going to learn every single thing possible about social media marketing that I can. I'm going to learn more from my mentors. I'm going to learn more from, any sort of resource I could find online. The moment I did that, the moment I stopped my own self-defeating attitude, the moment I started believing in my vision 110%, even when everyone else was saying like, look, you're doing like BS stuff, right? Like this business model is not going to survive, right? You're not going to close these high ticket clients. You're not going to actually provide value to these clients. Facebook ads is a scam. Things like that, right? And like, I don't know, like these random like weird doubts. And I realized like the reason why people were saying that and the reason why I was letting it take a toll on my business was because I allowed it. Was because I stopped believing in my vision, because I expected too much instant gratification, right? And a lot of you guys are in that position right now. A lot of you guys, as your marketing agency or as your whatever business model you're doing, when you first start off, as it sort of becomes more apparent to you that, look, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to turn into a 7-figure business owner in like 3 months. As it starts coming across to you, you're going to feel like more and more of the doubts are starting to echo more off of your head, whether that be from family or friends or like even just acquaintances, right? Or people online. You're going to start getting a lot more criticism, right? Because they see that you're putting in so much work. They may be jealous of your work ethic, but then again, they have something to make fun of you for because you're not really getting results yet. Don't listen to those people. Don't let those people get into your head. And most importantly, don't get in your own way of creating, wealth and success for yourself. At the end of the day, like, look at me. Like, I didn't even secure a client till like late March, right? And then everything else was going downhill. Like my personal brand was going downhill because I was putting so much time into my marketing agency. I felt like everything wasn't going right. But then again, I stuck to it. I stayed consistent. I held on to my vision. I talked myself back into it. And, I don't want to sound cliche, but I'm starting to manifest stuff now. And I can truly believe that by... Alright guys, my camera just ran out of battery, so I'm just going to do it this way. But what I was going to wrap up with is, after all those late nights, after all those people, criticizing me, kind of had that moment where I finally felt like this was all possible. And all you guys are going to experience this. I know it. You're going to have, the first few months are going to be the toughest. Getting your business off the ground is going to be the toughest. You're going to get a lot of criticism and a lot of, maybe even some hate, from even people you know. So don't let that get into your head. Don't let that sort of affect your positivity and affect your long-term vision. Because like I said, like a year from now, do you want to be like, even if you fail or like make a bunch of mistakes and you don't really see that many results, do you want to be the guy who looked back and, you know, acknowledge that they did everything they could and move on to the next thing? Or, you know, do you want to be the guy that is just like bitter for the rest of the year and like, look, and at the end of the day, like, you're going to see more and more people like achieving success. You're going to even feel worse about yourself. That's not the route I want you guys to go on. So look, stick to your dream. As cliche as it sounds, you've only got one life. And you know, there's a huge possibility, and I know like all of you guys can do it, but there's a huge possibility that a year from now you're going to look back and be like, wow, I was this close to quitting. You know, I was this close to quitting, but I did it at the end of the day, and that's all that matters, right? And realize that like you're going to start having realizations like, if I hadn't stuck to it, like what kind of life would I be living now, right? And then you're going to feel the inclination, like myself, especially even just like when you're first starting to see results manifest, you're going to feel the inclination to like spread this message to as many people as possible. So what I want to encourage you guys to do today is like, I mean, if you have time for this, just like DM a few people, right? DM a few people that you know are kind of struggling, and try to provide as much value to them as possible, and let them know that it's okay to be struggling in the beginning, right? Give them some sort of encouragement. Tell them, you know, that they're worth it, that they can, you know, they can manifest anything that they believe in as long as they put in the work behind it. So yeah, just know all those late nights and early mornings will pay off, and I'll check in with you guys in the next video. By the way, one more thing, I just want to give you guys like a more clear-cut example. I kind of forgot to bring this up, but in terms of like my results right now, like this month I'm set to do like at least 4 to 5K in SMMA only, maybe possibly 6K if I was to clear either a super high ticket client or like 2 clients. If I only onboard one more, that's going to be a solid 5K. In the worst case scenario, it's going to be like 4K, right? So right now I'm at 3K in retainers in SMMA, and then I'm also not including my personal brand. So if I hit that 5 to 6K mark and make an additional consistent like 2 to 3K with my personal brand, which is around what I'm doing right now, then that's going to be an 8K month. That's going to be my first month, first 8K month, not 6-figure month, but first month that equates to a 6-figure income for the year, right? So yeah, it's just it's hard to believe for me, because last month I was making, like, everything was going downhill. I think last month I only made like, March should have been like around 1.5, under 2K. Super disappointing for me. But look, I'm set to make like anywhere from 5 to 8K total. Worst case scenario, like 5 to 6K. Best case scenario, over 8K this month. So like almost 0 to 6 figures in the span of a month, and it's all because I held on to the vision and trusted the process. So guys, you are all gonna make it. You're all gonna manifest it. It just takes some time. Eventually, all the work you put in is gonna pay off. So this is actually where I'm gonna wrap up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.